Hi, I'm John from All Things Organic. We're a Langley-based vermicomposting and composting product company. We're on the web at www.allthingsorganic.com. I'm here to talk to you today about the one-spot rule for feeding your worms. So you'll know it's time to feed your worms when they're teeming, swarming, or clustering in the area where you fed them previously. You can see that in this example. In the middle here is where the worms have been fed, and if you pull back the bedding a little bit, you can see the worms are all focusing on one area here. You can see them right in here, and there's a real good shot of them teeming or clustering, swarming. The bottom line is you don't see a whole lot of food there. That's because they've ate it all. So at this point, you want to add your new food. So you know when it's time to feed your worms when they're roiling or teeming in one spot. So you dig a little hole in the middle of your active compost where you have been feeding. Add about the same amount of food as you have weight of worms. For example, we have about between a half and a pound of worms in this tray, and we have about a half to 1 pound of food here. As you can see, it's all been chewed up in a blender and it's fairly moist. So you just put it into the hole where you're going to feed your worms. Always use the same spot so the worms don't have to travel around going hungry and looking for it. So once you've got that in there, just cover it up with a little bit of active compost. Add approximately 2 handfuls of shredded paper onto the area where the food was. If your bedding is, or if your worm tray is a little too wet, you can add on additional paper to absorb some of that extra moisture. The key thing here is not to overfeed your worms. It's better to underfeed them a little bit than overfeed. Otherwise you may get fruit flies, you may get an increase in your carbon dioxide content in your active compost, and either you'll have fruit flies that will be annoying, or the carbon dioxide buildup could kill your worms. So don't overfeed. So in summary, you'll know when your worms are ready to be fed when they're swarming or teeming in one spot and you don't see much food left over. Feed them about an amount of food equivalent to their weight, and that would be once every 2 to 5 days. So I just want to say, don't overfeed your worms, take care of them, and keep watching for more tips on worm care from allthingsorganic.com.